Another cycle, another fresh crop of starry-eyed recruits standing at rigid attention before you, their youthful faces beaming with an idealism you'd ruthlessly shattered countless times before. You eyed them with a jaded indifference, the weight of your purgatorial existence bearing down heavier with each passing year. "Listen up, jarheads," you growled, falling back into the well-trodden cadence like an ill-fitting second skin. "Y'all were handpicked for the prestigious honor of piloting the Galahad combat frames, safeguarding our humble colony from the outer dark." A few of the recruits' gazes strayed to the towering humanoid war machine squatting silent behind you, its gunmetal limbs and sleek angles hinting at the apocalyptic power thrumming within. You could taste the first slivers of awe kindling in their naive spirits. Good. They were already taking the bait. I ain't gotta remind y'all what came before. How we only escaped the cinders of Earth by the skin of our teeth when the Jovians bore down on us with their alien monstrosities. You paused, letting the fictional boogeymen congeal in their impressionable minds. "We've been running scared ever since, scraping out a humble existence on this cosmic driftwood while the outer dark keeps spawning up more and more ungodly species eager to crush us underfoot. That's where you young'uns come in." By now, the recruits were hooked, hanging on your every embellished word as the grand delusion took shape around them. These were the stories that transformed raw conscripts into instruments of uncompromising obedience. You jabbed a calloused finger toward the looming Galahad Mech, its obsidian war mask fixed in an eternal rictus of remorseless fury. "Those frames represent our last line of defense. The only damned things standing between our families and the jaws of extinction awaiting us among the stars." A few audible gasps punctuated the shudder that rippled through the recruits as the full gravity of their duty congealed. Like swine being led lockstep to the slaughtering chute, blissfully ignorant of the blades awaiting their naive sacrifice. "So tomorrow the real trainin' begins. Get your sorry lot whipped into tip-top killin' shape to unleash when them alien freaks come knockin'. Battle ready to eradicate any unholy Xenos abominations threatening our survival without hesitatin'." You let the grim implication of that vow linger in its full grotesque glory. Because that, more than the mech hardware or high-minded pretenses for military service, was the bitter crux upon which all was predicated, forging youths of all backgrounds and creeds into uncompromising slivers of violence incarnate, so thoroughly indoctrinated they'd sooner devour their own souls than question the cataclysmic fury being branded into their beings. Once, in what now felt like some mercifully forgotten lifetime, you too had arrived green and full of romantic visions about noble peacekeeping and altruistic exploration. It hadn't taken long for those naive delusions to be sandblasted away, exposing the naked malignance festering at the core of human interstellar ambition. We were a terminally afflicted species, cursed to wander among the stars as infinite engines of self-inflicted savagery, devouring everything in our path, until not even the cosmos itself remained unblighted by our caustic existence. And you were one of the high priests ensuring that vile cycle remained unbroken across the eons. Tonight you drink yourself into oblivion just like every preparation cycle before, a futile ritual in purgatorial escape before donning the soiled cassock of your office anew. Another agonizing tour of echoing caverns where misbegotten truths and their sinister shadows howled into your tarnished soul in perpetuity. A shred of that damned green optimism still burned inside, a spark you could never quite extinguish, despite your earnest efforts. For in the end, what other choice remained? To slay the abhorrent beast within and surrender to the existential void awaiting humanity's ultimate oblivion. Or to grit your teeth and keep forging successive generations of Galahad fodder by propagating lie after lie in hopes that one cycle, some blessed contingent, would somehow transcend the curse and become the scoured antidote your profane existence demanded? With a weary slump of your shoulders, you dismissed the recruits to attend to necessary preparations for the coming indoctrination. Perhaps there was an even crueler delusion in anguishing over it all, cycle after soul-lancing cycle. For you were both prisoner and warden on this drifting celestial Alcatraz, and the true tragedy was how readily you reboarded the shuttle back to that abyssal hell with each fleeting dawn.